So there's this new claim from Russia that the Ukrainians are planning to use a dirty bomb. And when I saw dirty bomb, the first thing I thought of was Iraq, because I remember back then on TV, you had this claim in the UK and the US that, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction and he has all these variants, right? He can cook up anthrax and bubonic plague in the back of a truck like Breaking Bad. He has underground facilities, and he's also planning on giving it to Al-Qaeda, and he has dirty bombs. So that's a bomb that contains radioactive material, okay? And now, turns out this isn't about Iraq. It's about Russia and Ukraine. So let's go through it together. Here's the BBC article. I know some of you are rolling your eyes. Oh no, BBC. Yeah, I'm rolling them too. Ukraine war. NATO denounces Russia's dirty bomb claim. So let's see what's going on. NATO's Secretary General has warned Russia over its quote-unquote false claim that Kiev might use a dirty bomb, conventional explosives laced with radioactive material. Stoltenberg tweeted that the NATO allies reject this allegation and Russia must not use it as a pretext for escalation. The Russian defense minister, Sergei Shoigu, made the dirty bomb remarks in a call with his UK counterpart, Ben Wallace. So that's interesting that the Russian defense minister is calling the British one. I saw Lloyd Austin, who's the head of the Pentagon, so Shoigu's counterpart, also holding a call with him. Let me pull that up quickly on Twitter. There we go. This is the one I'm looking for. So this is 23rd of October. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says, quote, I spoke by phone today with Russian Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu, who requested a follow-up call. I reject any pretext for Russian escalation and reaffirm the value of continued communication amid Russia's unlawful and unjustified war in Ukraine. That's great. How about you get out of Syria too? That's unlawful. No, but seriously, like what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the Russian defense minister has basically been calling up his counterpart in the US, in the UK, and other countries to talk about this dirty bomb. And I don't think I've seen something like that in this war, where the Russian defense minister is trying to speak with his counterparts, all of them, and warn them about something. So that's interesting. You could reach two conclusions based on this information. You could think that, okay, well, he must be serious. If he's calling these people up who are actually really his enemies, and he's calling them up, what's going on here? Is it a ruse, or is he serious? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but let's continue. So Ukraine condemned the remarks. Zelensky said this meant Russia itself could be preparing an attack of this kind. Yeah, I knew that. I knew he'd say that. On Sunday, Mr. Shoigu... Oh, there we go. This is what I was just telling you. So he called the French, Turkish, and American defense ministers. He provided no evidence to back up his accusations. He said he was concerned about possible provocations by Kiev involving the use of a dirty bomb. Other top Russian commanders made the same allegation. But in a joint statement, the French, British, and American foreign ministers said they reject Russia's transparently false allegations that Ukraine is preparing to use a dirty bomb on its own territory. They're saying that, military analysts are chalking this up to Russia just, being a sore loser. They're losing ground, and so they're trying to make up this dirty bomb thing. That's their take on this. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February, 30-nation NATO has provided Kiev with billions of dollars worth of weapons and military training, but refuses to intervene directly with air support or troops, as Ukraine is not a member. Christ. I mean, you just kind of said they're intervening directly, but okay. Zelensky accused Russia of being the source of everything dirty that can be imagined in this war, and he said Russia was threatening the world with radiation disaster at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, which it had captured, and also spoke of Moscow's threats to detonate a major dam in southern Ukraine. We have had a couple of escalations in the war. The Crimea bridge was blown up with a truck bomb. The Nord Stream pipelines were blown up and sabotaged. And all evidence points to these being man-made events and to being therefore sabotage and perpetrated by Ukraine. The Ukrainians basically admitted that they blew up the Crimea bridge. I have the video of the foreign minister of Ukraine literally saying that on tape. And before that, we had the SBU, the Ukrainian security services, basically admitting to it the day it happened. Zelensky as well. They joked about it in a way that indicated that they were behind it. And like I said, the foreign minister of Ukraine himself on tape saying we blew it up. What more evidence do you need? It was Ukraine. So, again, truck bombs, Al-Qaeda style truck bombs are in now. All right, they're in. very fashionable these days. You have several significant escalations in the war, acts of sabotage, and Ukraine was behind them. So, logically, who is most likely to be behind a dirty bomb? Just logically. And when I'm seeing this stuff about the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, let me just remind you, at the start of the war, when the Russians first took the plant, this is the biggest nuclear plant in Europe, they also accused the Russians of firing at it. You know, they said, oh, you're endangering the plant, you're going to cause a nuclear meltdown, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that several of the reactors weren't even online. And Russia never fired on it. They had fired something at a neighboring barrack or something. Not barracks, but it was like a tiny hut, right? So again, that was a false claim. The Russians never fired at the nuclear plant. Obviously, I think everyone would prefer that nobody fires anything anywhere near a nuclear plant. Sure, I get that. But that was a fake claim which they made. And again, I see Israel sabotaging Iranian nuclear sites all the time. No one gives a crap about that, you know. Nuclear disasters are cool in Iran if it's done by Israel. So, you know, I really doubt the Russians are trying to cause a nuclear disaster at Zaporizhzhia. This is nonsense. That's nonsense. And when it comes to a dirty bomb, why would they... The Russians have nukes. Okay, they have actual nuclear warheads that are better than anyone else's, and they have more of them than anyone else. Why would they use a dirty bomb? I don't know any acts of sabotage in this war by the Russians. The Russians, when they do something, they do it out in the open, right? The ones that are doing sabotage and pursuing that line of warfare, it's mainly, you know, it's mainly NATO and the Ukrainians. It's let's go after Russian generals with the help of U.S. intelligence. Let's sink the Russian flagship in the Black Sea. Let's do Nord Stream. Let's do the Crimea Bridge. That was Ukraine. So the behavior doesn't match Zelensky's claim that Russia would be pursuing dirty bomb. I don't see this, man. I hope for everybody's sake that there won't be a dirty bomb, because that is a very, very, very significant escalation. I mean, that's way worse than Nord Stream and Crimea. Like, if that happened, you could have a nuclear war, maybe. I'm really puzzled what's going on. You know, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Like, why would the Russian defense minister be calling Lloyd Austin, Ben Wallace, and the Turkish defense minister and telling them about this? Is he serious? Is he bluffing? What's going on? In any case, this is a breaking story. It's just from the couple of past hours, so I'm just giving you all the information that we have, and just trying to pair that with everything that's taken place in the last month to see what makes sense.